Aging population needs walkable, bikeable cities. Seniors often feel threatened by changes that provide alternatives to driving, even though they have the most to gain from improvements to pedestrian and cycling infrastructure. Here are ways to engage seniors in active transportation planning. When someone for the first time accused me of being ableist, I was shocked. The pedestrianization of some streets was one of the ways I advocated for making downtown a more walkable place. I believe accessible places are walkable places. Yet someone was telling me, not everyone can walk. I have since encountered the ableist epithet on other occasions and in other places. It seems to me that Big Asphalt is propagating a meme. I call it the war on cars. An environment that privileges only those who are able to drive is ableist. Of course, less than half of Americans are able to drive. Automobile environments disenfranchise and endanger those physically incapable of or too young to drive, or too poor to own one. With the aging of the baby boom generation, there will be a dramatic increase in the number of non-drivers. Nonetheless, a large number of baby boomers feel threatened by any proposal that might restrict their ability to drive, gripping their steering wheels tightly. Active transportation proposals are understandably unpopular with older residents. As their mobility diminishes, they become more dependent on their ability to drive and park close to their destination. Bike lanes and downtown pedestrian walkways are not appealing to them. Additionally, they fear that pedestrian and biking facilities will reduce their access to cars, especially if improvements involve removing street parking, reducing traffic lanes, or closing streets to cars entirely. The proposal for bike and pedestrian facilities also gets pushback from colleagues. People say they will not use them at public meetings. How many people attend these meetings? Older people, including retirees and other baby boomers, who drive and can attend the meeting by car because they cannot drive or cannot afford a car. Those who need an alternative aren't available. The support for active transportation projects is divided by age. Younger residents are more likely to support projects, but are not always here. Young people are more likely to walk, bike, and use other modes of transportation. The number of alternatives to driving has increased dramatically in recent years. A majority of app-based services are designed for young people who navigate the world through their phones rather than behind a steering wheel. There is a disproportionate number of young, white, and college-educated bike share users. Did you see that young guy zooming by on a scooter? According to studies, electric scooters are primarily used by young men. Therefore, it's no surprise that new mobility services, including bike shares and e-scooters, are primarily used by young people. Similarly, protected bikeways and other infrastructure that supports new forms of mobility are viewed primarily as being for the young and physically fit. Despite this, mobility options are most beneficial to those who cannot drive. It is common for older people to become more dependent on driving as they age, as they lose their physical ability to bike or walk longer distances. However, this is not true. Most people lose their ability to walk before they lose their ability to drive. New types of little vehicles, such as seated scooters or electric assist tricycles, can be used safely by non-drivers in protected bike lanes. There are others as well. These vehicles are particularly useful for those who cannot walk to and from transit stops. It is important for cities to cater to older residents, and not just because they attend public meetings. The number of seniors will rise, creating what some planners are calling a silver tsunami. As seniors aspire to age in place, cities must plan for their needs. In order to make cities more walkable and bikeable, active transportation will be crucial. Pedestrian and cycling improvements will benefit seniors the most. Are there ways to increase support for these proposals among older residents? By giving non-cyclists the opportunity to try cycling without a large personal investment. Bike shares have been shown to increase cycling in many cities. Likewise, bike shares that offer a range of vehicles, including e-bikes, tricycles, and seated scooters, can be beneficial. There is awareness that these kinds of vehicles are available. Detroit's Mogo is an example of a bike share system that serves a variety of needs. It is important that bike shares be accessible by means other than a smartphone. Older residents, even if they have a smartphone, are typically less comfortable using app-based services. Dockless systems, like many of the e-scooter services, must be navigated through an app. With station-based systems, it is possible to locate bikes without a phone. The stations themselves make the system more visible and understandable and can include physical maps and instructions on how to use the system. A smartphone is not required to unlock a bike. Users have the option to swipe their member access card or receive a printed code generated at the station kiosk. People who have difficulty walking can use some little vehicles, such as seated scooters, e-bikes, and tricycles to get to and from the bus stop. Integrate bikeways and bike share stations with transit stops, as well as parking for scooters and trikes. Onboard stop announcements alert bus riders to nearby bike stations in Milwaukee. Make bike sharing a part of the overall transit system. A transit card can be used to check out a bike at Los Angeles Metro Bike-Share. Transit users in Pittsburgh are able to use the bike share system for free with their transit passes. Engage underrepresented groups in active transportation, such as seniors. Many city bike-share systems have outreach workers who work to increase bike share use in underserved communities. They can help older residents understand the benefits of biking and bike systems and how to use them. Seniors and retirees can benefit from community rides and workshops. The Indigo system in Philadelphia offers classes on urban riding basics that teach you how to ride safely in traffic, using Indigo bike-share and choosing the best route, as well as adult learn to ride classes. Indigo also offers monthly rides through different neighborhoods in Philadelphia. John Alinot, Senior Strategic Policy Advisor with the AARP Public Policy Institute, says we outlive our driving years on average by a decade. 1 in 5 people over 65 don't drive. By the age of 80, 65% of adults are no longer driving, while only 40% have difficulty walking. Even if they are still able to walk, senior citizens eventually have to give up driving. Baby boomers are famous for resisting aging. However, they will eventually succumb to statistics as well. They are even more likely to become able non-drivers than their predecessors, as they remain physically active but lose their sight and motor skills, limiting their ability to drive. Encourage older residents to walk and bike instead of driving in the future, not the other way around. When they are no longer able to drive, active transportation facilities can maintain their independence. Make these projects more accessible to older residents. Photograph seniors and other people with diverse physical abilities riding seated scooters or tricycles in the bike lane, seated on benches, strolling or socializing on the car-free street. As our population ages, cities must plan for the needs of their aging residents. Planning for active transportation, such as making cities more walkable and bikeable, is crucial. Having a healthy environment is crucial to our long-term health. Physical activity helps older adults postpone their physical decline and provides them with a sense of independence and empowerment that contributes to their social and emotional well-being. Walkable, bikeable environments help older adults remain in their homes and live independently as they age. Perhaps no other group needs pedestrian and cycling improvements more than seniors and others with physical disabilities. It would be ableist if we didn't make our cities more walkable and bikeable. Let's all get behind the Better Bike Path programs to make it easier to get around and more importantly, save our environment from the pending destruction. Here is the end of the video. So if you would like to be notified when I put out a new video, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified along with the thumbs up button if you like this video. Hope to see you later.